Shanda Sumpter. I'm here with Ariella. We were just joking because everybody always butchers both of our names. But I am here with 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda with Ariella, and she's really here to inspire you to find the next piece of hope in growing your business. She has an amazing story that I think if you allow it to sink in, whatever's happening in your life or your next business goal, whether you're failing forward or just failing or you're succeeding massively, I really believe that this interview could be life transforming for you. So Ariella she started with us in a program called List Power. She is now in a program called Pace Club with us. And she just has this incredible story of riches to rags to riches that I think for anybody who's telling yourself a story that you're in a hard moment, or maybe you're confused, or you're trying to move forward, or you've got a goal and you're not showing up the way you'd like to be showing up, this could be the next 20 minutes that actually transforms the progress of today. Like, my intention is that after listening to Ariella and I speak, that you go out and perhaps you generate another $2,000 today or $20,000 today, or maybe you have an $80,000 day. Like, I'm not saying any of that. I'm not promising any income claims, which obviously, unfortunately, we can't do anymore on the internet. But what I am saying is that whatever your breakthrough is financially, what if this was the interview to turn it around for you? You showed up and did exactly what it took to make that happen. I think that's what's possible. So Ariella, welcome to Coffee with Shanda.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So you, like I said, you joined List Power. You were saying to me that you actually saw me on a webinar a long time ago. Let's just start there.
Yeah, so actually it was through a Facebook ad that you did for your 5-day challenge, right? The 5-day challenge that you were doing.
Yeah.
And there was just something about you. I mean, part of what I do is I'm intuitive, so I go off my intuition. So as soon as I connected with you, it was like, oh, she's got something, like there's something here, follow that stream. And then it took me to your webinar after that for List Power. I actually didn't sign up in your webinar, but I heard the information, it sank in. And then a couple of weeks later, after thinking, you know what, maybe I can do this on my own. Like, again, even though I tried so much on my own and I'd kept on failing, I was still in that mindset. Maybe I can do this on my own. And then after a couple of weeks of trying to think, right, how am I going to do a summit? How am I going to do a 5-day challenge and replicate what Shanda's done? I finally hit the wall and I was like, you know what? No, I need help. And that's when I reached out to Jean Bills.
That's awesome. So, okay. So you what's the background? Like, you were saying you had a good job before, like what's your background?
Yeah. So I was 16 years in corporate. I was a business manager. I was in marketing procurement. And I worked for some big brands. I worked for Porsche cars. I had a new Porsche every 6 months at one point.
Wow.
And I was a consultant. Latterly, I was a consultant. And it was kind of living the high life. I had a luxury London flat. And I was enjoying going to 5-star hotels and all of that stuff. And then my story is I actually went through a huge spiritual awakening. I mean, many things happened, but one of them was that it totally changed my mindset and my philosophy, my outlook on life almost overnight. And I realized that I was very empty inside. I had a lot of material stuff around me, but I didn't have purpose. I didn't have passion, and I was living a lie.
You know what's crazy? This is what's crazy. I'm just realizing this at this exact moment. I love real-time TV or online TV because of this. So I had the exact same thing, and I was going to London. I was going to London every 2 weeks. I was running a real estate division. I was a VP, staying across from Hyde Park, at the Hyatt across from Hyde Park. And sometimes the Dorchester, and which is a very foo-foo hotel, and dating a beautiful hedge fund boy from London. And I went to see a shaman, and I went to see the shaman. And on my way back from seeing the shaman, there was like a voice in my head that was like a record that was skipping, that was telling me I was to teach financial freedom. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not a teacher. I'm not, like, I got a good job, but there was something inside me that was empty. You know what I mean? So I transitioned into the coaching company I lead today. What a trip. That's so cool. So did you like come across me and leave that? Like what happened? What was the transition?
So, right, okay, well, this is esoteric, right, Shanda? I'm not sure how much I can ground this, so it's just going to come out the way it's going to come.
I love that.
Honestly, I went through a massive activation. Many things happened, one of which I thought I was going to physically die. I could barely walk across one side of the room to the other. The doctors thought that I had suspected MS. So lots of physical things were happening, but lots of energetic things were happening. The lights in my flat were flickering off and on, off and on, off and on. I got these 1111s, which is many people in the spiritual communities know about the 1111s. And activation kept on coming up on my TV screen. This is the bit which is going to test and challenge some people's belief systems, because I woke up one morning whilst I was going through this process, and there were literally 2 6-foot-tall light beings stood in my bedroom.
Oh.
And I received many messages, and I had, you got the ongoing voice in your head. I got huge clairvoyant visions, and it showed me at a time what I believe is in my future. And it actually showed me stood on a stage addressing a large audience, and the audience is kind of going wild, and they're pumping their fists in the air. And that was, that was like the catalyst, and particularly literally seeing 2 6-foot-tall light beings in my bedroom. I could then not deny the many energetic and the many interactions that I'd previously had in my life, which I'd not been looking at until that point.
Yeah, you were just too stubborn to listen, so they had to really, really make you listen. I mean, notice the transition. Like, we both transitioned out of corporate America from spiritual experience. As mine had to be with a shaman, which is obviously going deep and, a whole nother world. And, we both went into another world, basically. So I get that. So you leave corporate America. Did you leave corporate America because you got sick?
So things were shifting in my reality. Endings were happening. This was the last straw when I went through this activation. My health got better. I handed in my notice, and I did the classic. I went off traveling for a couple of months around Central America, and really enjoyed that experience. When I came back from Central America, I had $7,000, right, savings, because I was like, money meant nothing to me, previously. So I had $7,000, which I spent traveling. I came back home. I had no money. And this is where the universe likes to test you, because I knew that I still needed to hold space I didn't know who I was at that point. It's like, I know I'm not corporate, but who am I now? And I knew that I had to hold space for that. So the universe sent me a few tests. One of them was that I got a phone call from my previous agency offering me like the job of my dreams about 5 years previously. I mean, it was such an easy contract, and it would have earned me a very quick 120 grand. Right. I could have done it from home. It was easy.
Yeah.
So the universe tested me. Are you going to go back? Or are you going to keep on going forwards? And that's at that point where I made the decision not to take that money. Instead, I bought what I call a caravan, what you call a trailer or an RV.
An RV. Yeah.
And I spent the next 2.5 years in my RV, living in Glastonbury in the countryside, connecting with my mission and working this whole piece out.
That's so cool. So let's fast forward. So you give up the Porsche.
Yeah.
You heal yourself. Your $7,000 is gone. And you probably are thinking moments like, what the heck am I doing?
Yeah.
You go through my program, List Power. You learn how to do an online show which is basically where you're like Oprah, Larry King Live. You're interviewing people, you're interviewing authors and top experts, and you create your online show out of the RV, and you make 30 pounds, which is $41,000 in 3 months. How did that shift things for you?
Yeah, massively, massively. So, yeah, I mean, I was £25,000 in debt when I came across List Power. And it was literally that point where it's like you have to go back to corporate, or you just push through this and make it, because I was that close to bankruptcy, right? So, yeah, like you say, I did my first summit. It was a massive result. 5,600 people signed up, which was incredible. And at the end of that, like you say, 3 months afterwards, I went on to make, $45,000, 30 grand in pounds.
Yeah. What's cool is when you were sharing with me that when you thought that you were going to do it on your own, you had done a whole nother, you bought an information product. You started working this information product. You thought you were going to launch this big product. And then what did you say? 11 people showed up?
Oh my God, it was a nightmare. It was a total flop. Yeah. You know, like many people who are watching this, I'm sure, who are driven and who are focused, and me with my 16-year corporate background, I thought, I don't need anybody. I know all of this stuff. I know business. I can do it. And I launched this at this 1 year program. I advertised it on Facebook. I spent thousands of pounds on Facebook advertising, right? 11 people showed up, and I'd committed to them for a whole year to go on a journey. And I was charging them it was £160 for the year that I charged. I mean, it was, total flop.
I've been there. I mean, I've done it, so I get it. It looks different, but I love the piece that you're talking about, how the universe tests you. I always say God, but like, you know, whatever somebody's belief system is, for me, it's God. But it's like, you know, the God or the universe also, you know, there's these moments that come up that either you get your back up against a wall. And when your back gets up against a wall, your true character comes forward. And your true character can be molded. You know, Tony Robbins always says, I built me, right? And I really believe that I built me and you're building you, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you gotta build yourself so that when you hit these hard moments, that your reaction is no longer a reaction, because you could have reacted and taken the job, right? Some people you could have reacted when those 11 people came and just flipped out, blamed, and got mad. Or you can just like look for that another piece of hope to keep you going. Like in List Power and Pace Club, we always say, stay in the step you're in. Because if you don't stay in the step you're in, you're vulnerable to anger, frustration, just all these victim-y, and people never think they're victim-y when they're in it, right? Like they're always like, I'm not victim-y, like I'm super conscious. It's like, no, you are victim-y. That's why it's not working. You know what I mean? Like you've got to be able to give up being right about everything going wrong. Yeah. And grab for a new piece of hope. So how have you been able to do that?
Well, I totally get that. And by the way, I am a recovered victim. I mean, I was exactly that. I would lash out, get angry anytime anything didn't work for me. And by the way, it was actually that 1 year program, which was a flop, which helped me to push through that, because what I understood was happening, the 11 people that I attracted, they were all deeply in victim mindset. And then I suddenly got it. It's me. I'm still being a victim. And that's when I reached out for help. And that's what helped me to shift my mindset. So, you know, I magnetized. I mean, I call it God as well, but I also call it my soul guided me. I believe that we all have souls. So my soul guided me to connect with people like you, to connect with people like what I do now in the spiritual community, coaching people to help them, to give them that higher vision, you know, that when you get these tests, not to go back into your shadow, not to go back into victim mindset. And just to see it as everything that comes across your path is an opportunity. It's a gift. Even when it looks like on the surface that it's your worst nightmare, there is a hidden gift, and it's up to you to connect to that and find that.
I call it connection points, but it's like, you know, when we have a breakdown in any of our programs, like as soon as we get into teaching money, there's always a breakdown, always. And then there's people like you, which I saw you in the group yesterday, sharing with people how you were doing it and how you were getting successful. So there's always like that group of people like you who are showing up as leaders, and you're paying it forward saying, hey, let's get refocused. Let's make this happen. Like, you can do it, right? Here's what I did to create, you know, $45,000 or $41,000, whatever. We're not sure, because whatever 30 pounds is converted to American dollars. But it's like the flip side is that, you know, I see this every year. Like, everybody wants to make money, but when we actually get into making money, it's like all your stuff comes up, because it's frustrating when you invest money and you're not winning. My God, it's frustrating. But it's not about the program, the product, or the service, or the coaches, or the environment, or whatever. It's actually about what's within you that has got to be purged so that you can actually get on the other side of this emotional trigger that is absolutely killing your success, right? Like, I'm about to do a whole talk on coach yourself to success, because none of my formulas work. Like, none of my formulas work unless you show up the way Ariella is showing up right now. They just don't. But if you show up the way she's showing up in her ways of being, you will have incredible results that access more choices, more freedom, you know, a little bit more of a carefree life. Like, I am really certain that we're going to go after 7 figures for you. And I know that you're going to be on the stage. In fact, I would like to invite you to be on our stage at the Zone event. If you're going to come at our next Zone event, I would love to have you at the stage.
Thank you.
This year. Would you like to be on the stage?
It would scare the absolute hell out of me, but I will.
It's part of your vision.
That's a big thing for me to catalyze and transform that. Yeah.
It's part of your vision of even being up on the stage. We'll have 1,000 people at this event, you know, and it's an opportunity for you to stand in front of 1,000 people and tell them what you've done. You know, tell them what you've done to encourage them to step up, because anybody can have this. Right now in corporate America, you're facing the fact that jobs are going away. Mm-hmm. So either your employees underneath you or your teams are going to start getting more scarce, which means you're going to have to do more work, right? Or you're going to be replaced through automation. And that's what's happening. Accountants, CPAs, you know, restaurateurs, like all of these things, you know, our Uber drivers are going to go away. Our self-driving cars are already out there. My son will never drive a car, you know, like, and we're going to have some of these things on Coffee with Shanda coming up, but like, it's not coming in the far future. It's actually here now. And so there's this bridge right now happening, right? There's this bridge right now happening of saying, it really is time to let go of the shadow, the righteousness, the entitlement, the anger, the frustration, the emotional triggers, and the fear, and even the security of being where you are today, to cross that bridge and go to the other side. Build an audience, learn how to serve that audience, right? And really make a difference, because you can have, I mean, you've now built over 10,000 people.
Yeah, it's amazing. So like, yeah, my life now. So I've got a list of over 10,000 people. I'm on Summit 2, Summit number 2.
Online show.
Which is the online show, exactly. And we're selling in this one. So we're selling the show interviews and also the speaker packages. They're going really well. As you can see behind me, I've got some bricks back in my life now. So, you know, I'm happy to say that I'm in a house again. You know, I'm not in my caravan anymore. I've got a car. I've got some freedom back. You know, I've been going to some nice places again. And my physical has basically caught up with my inner transformation, which is really nice. But I think from an internal point of view, I mean, it's not the money, it's not the numbers that drive me. And I know that you're similar. It is my mission, right? Is that vision. That is what I hook into. That's what I want to achieve. And I want to serve people and influence them in that way. But I think, you know, the self-belief and the confidence that you get through going across that bridge is incredible. The inner tools that you have, that you can tap into. So, you know, it's incredible. And I thank you so much for the part that you have played in my transformation and your team.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And haven't you made an additional $15,000 off just selling your online show? Or
yeah, that's what I don't know yet, but that's what I'm estimating. That's my best guess at what's coming in. But I mean, I'm literally getting emails every day from speakers, and it's like $1,000 there, $2,000 there, you know, in terms of sales. One is over $3,000, and that's just my share. That's just my share. So we're selling. I mean, it's a great summit. We're affecting and influencing a lot of people's lives. It's awesome.
That's so powerful. Well, I just want to honor you for being someone who has really gone through, like, not only the decisions of letting go of your flat and going through like a scary health challenge. And there's many times that you could have quit. I mean, you've done other information products. I'm sure you've read a lot of books. You've been in the grind. You've been in the grind to make it and to create like a new chapter for yourself. And now you've created that new chapter, and it keeps going up from here, which is amazing. But you've learned the skills on crossing that bridge that are going to pay dividends forever. It's that inner leadership. It's that ability to unhook from the emotional triggers when they come up so that you can stay the course. And then you become like a stealth ship, like a stealth rocket, you know, where you really do, where it's like steady through the turbulence. And as you can become steady through the turbulence, marriages get better, health gets better, money just becomes abundant. Like I always say, like, I just can't stop making money. Like, I just can't stop it from coming in. It just keeps coming in, right? But it isn't about the money. It really does become about your mission. And when your give becomes bigger than your give to get, in other words, when your generosity and you become a leader where you're giving, because complaining is a distraction. And when you're still in a complaining mode, you are still distracting yourself, and you will distract others around you. And it's about learning how to get stealth and focused so that you can stay strong during the turbulence. Doesn't mean you're not like, shit, this is hard. It's not about being an ice cold man or woman. Yeah. But it is about being responsible. It's about being responsible with your emotions. It's about being responsible with your vision. And if not now, when are you going to show up? If not now, if you don't make a shift today, what does your future look like? Like, if you keep going at the rate you're going, what does it look like in a year from now or 3 years from now? What does your life look like if you keep going at the pace you're going at right now? Or do you want to choose what that light is going to look like? Do you want to put down a credit card and not look at a price tag, right? Like, it's amazing to be able to pay for Montessori school for my son, or fly first class, or pay for like family members to live. I mean, I have people that are in my family that I pay for them to live today, right? Because of the benefit of following a calling. And it was a very hard calling, just like you, Ariella, where I was tested on, do I go back to corporate America? Do I go back to something easy? Or do I follow this mission? And I've watched my husband go through it. And so I believe that the journey is actually the same for all of us. I really believe that if you listen to the conversation, it is the same for all of us. And the question is are you going to surrender to the pain and allow that to lead your life, right? Surrender to the disappointment, surrender to the defeat, surrender to doing something you don't want to do for a living? Or do you want to say yes to walking the road of hard, make a commitment to become emotionally stable, and walk through that that road and climb over those barriers, get the coaching that you need, the mentorship that you need. I definitely recommend that everybody build an audience first, because money stacks on top of having a really good email list and a really good audience that follows you. And you can do that inside of 60 to 90 days. So life can change in 60 to 90 days. So any final last words, Ariella?
Two very quick things. First is that I want to make a stand for people who have got spiritual businesses, that it is true that you can earn money, right? We get a lot of judgment. We get a lot of criticism often in the spiritual communities.
HeartCore is very spiritual.
Absolutely.
I read the Bible every single day.
I know, absolutely. So, it is possible, and the abundance, the abundance is truly ours to be had there. The second thing that I want to say, and it's really making a stand for you, Shanda, and for the HeartCore organization, because of how much you have transformed my life. And for the spiritual people that are watching this, I trust that who comes into my reality, like there was a connection between you and me. And I know that you're here on a massive mission to help people like me to get our missions up and running, and so that we can be financially free. So I trust you, that's the connection. But whoever you are bringing into my reality, what other connections, if you're introducing me to other people, because I have that connection with you and you're saying, listen to this other person, I follow that.
Yeah.
I follow that, because I know that you are contracted with me to help me get me up and running with my mission. So my connection piece is always with you and the HeartCore business. And I will just keep on following that stream, because every time I do invest on the things that you tell me to invest, it pays massive dividends.
Well, and I want to go on record to say that I stopped taking partnership fees or affiliate fees years ago. So I actually have no vested interest. And I do this for the sake of leadership. I do this for the sake of disarming the ego that tries to attack. I don't have any vested interest in anyone I ever bring to our community to help people, or when I tell you to go do something. I have none. I have no financial gain at all. In fact, I ask for money that would actually be given to me to be passed on to our clients. So I do that just to create an accountability and a cleanliness inside of HeartCore, so that there just never can, that conversation can never be true that I'm all about money. I'm about people first and profit second. And to do that, you have to have thick skin and a strong leadership to be able to walk through. When I used to work with just 10 people, it was easy. Now I work with, upwards of 900 people plus, and more come in every single month to work with our movement and the mission that we're creating on this planet, which is freedom of choice. I don't believe money should ever be a reason why anybody doesn't take action in life. And I know that we've figured out the systems to be able to help people get there. But saying that, I keep it very clean. And I keep it very clean because even with it being clean, I read through, I don't know if you know Wayne Dyer before he passed away, but I would read through Wayne Dyer's Facebook pages and threads, and the meanness of what people would say to him. And I'd be like, this man is a saint. He's amazing. Or the attacks that Joel Osteen had with the hurricanes, when meanwhile his building wasn't secure or safe. And as soon as it was secure or safe, he opened it up. The meanness and the entitlement and the aggression that people have, I'm not making them wrong. I'm actually just saying it's time to transcend that, because that's not who they are. That is just how they react when they get their back pushed up against the wall. And so it's time for world peace, and world peace starts within us. And so, thank you. I appreciate your stand for HeartCore. We will continue to stand for you. And here's to transforming the world together. Thanks, you guys, for 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. On Fridays, which is tomorrow, I will actually do a full-blown Freestyle Fridays, which means you can come and ask me any question about my personal life, about your personal life, or your business, anything you want. I promise you I will not hold back. If you ask me a clear question, I will give you absolute clear coaching. So until then, have a super fired up day.